Hey everybody, it's Bruce with Board Game Impact, and this video is going to be very different than the other ones because oftentimes we're reviewing games or doing some unboxings and sharing about our experience. We're talking about that impact, and then over on the podcast, we're talking about those impacts as well. Well, today is different because if you can tell, there's actually another setup next to me, and that's because this is actually going to be a playthrough of a Destiny Quest book. If you've been paying attention to the podcast or the YouTube channel, then you know that I have been infatuated with the Destiny Quest series by Michael J. Ward. So this is the first one in that series. This is the Legion of Shadow. I did a full overview on what we think about this, kind of how it all works. You can click that right over there. But this video is going to be a little different. If you notice, like I said, there's another seat next to me. At the end of a podcast episode for the channel, I actually did a live read through of the prologue of this and was reached out to by the author, Michael, with some very kind praise. And I'm very thankful for that. And it really made our week because it was just a nice touch because a lot of times you see a name on a book, but then it actually became real. And Michael and I have been able to email back and forth. And I talked about how I've been actually playing this and that I am not having my character go through this. If you haven't watched those others, quick summary, Destiny Quest is a adventure book series like the Choose Your Own Adventure. So you'll go through a passage and then it might be turn to this page if you want to do this, turn to that page if you want to do that, as well as fight some monsters, things like that. But if your character dies, because you're going to have a character, that's okay because it's like a video game where you can respawn right there. Combat's super simple. There's a bunch of mechanics that we're going to explain, but it's all very, very, very simple. All you really need is a book, a set of dice, so maybe 2 dice like this, and a pencil, and maybe a printout of the sheet. We're going to be a little bit more complicated than that today. Obviously, we've got the camera, all the things, and I'm going to do some stuff just to make our experience more transferable to you. But this book is a standalone book. It's really great. This is the first one in the series of a currently 4-book series, and Michael asked if actually we would jump ahead to the 4th book, The Raiders of the Dune Sea. And what's going to happen here in a second is we're going to play through the prologue off camera, and then we're going to hop in, tell you kind of what we felt about the prologue, and jump right in and have my wife, Caitlin, with the power of editing, she's going to join us here in a second, and we're going to play through one of 2 quests in the text. Maybe we'll play through both. We'll see what we do. But either way, we're really excited about it. It's going to be more the intro quests. So if you don't want any spoilers whatsoever, now granted, this book is huge, so it's only like a tiny percentage, and you might make different choices. But if you want no spoilers whatsoever, definitely you're going to want to click off because we're about to have a bunch of spoilers after we talk about just some of the changes to mechanics, so I can catch her up to speed. But this is going to be a lot of fun, and it should be a very fun ride. So definitely make sure to hit that subscribe, make sure to hit that like button, so that way you can get other cool content like this as well. But really quick, why we're doing this is because Michael actually asked, he is the Kickstarter for the next book in the series, the 5th book, which is a continuation of this book. That's why I said spoilers a second ago. It's a continuation of this book because this has 2 acts and it's going to continue into the next one. That Kickstarter is coming that Kickstarter is coming out in February of 2023, and so we're doing this as a way for you to see what is it like to play like we do, because we have a ton of fun doing this, and we thought it'd be fun to do that on camera. We're not being compensated in any way besides having it spread by Michael and posted to the Kickstarter page, so do with that information as you will. We are doing this because we wanted to. We already own the books. I have personally paid for all of these books myself, and I've also backed all of his Kickstarters to date because that is something that I wanted in our life. And so, yeah, this is all from me. Nothing is from Michael or his company or anything like that. And so we're doing this because we have a lot of fun. We thought it'd be fun to do, and we thought you might have fun watching it. So now let me have the wife join us. And Penny. So do you want to introduce yourself to everybody? This is wife.
Hello, my name is Caitlin. I'm Bruce's wife.
Yeah. Where'd we meet?
At the children's toy store that I managed for about 3 years out in California.
Yeah, in the Lego aisle, if you're curious. So Caitlin, you and I have been playing through Destiny Quest, particularly Legion of Shadow. What's your current character's name?
Her name is Wara.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about her.
She basically starts off waking up and not remembering who she was.
Ooh, spoilers.
Yeah. And so she is out adventuring, trying to help people and also learn her identity.
Okay. Is she more of like a fighter, magic person? What is she?
She is more of a mage.
Okay, cool. So we're going to be creating a new character here in a second because each of the books is standalone. Again, with the exception of the book that's coming out, because that's going to be continuation of this one, and I'm going to talk you through all this.
I don't know anything that I'm doing by this. So
yeah, really, she just knows we're doing this, and that she's going to get to play, and that was enough, which should tell you a lot. But a couple wayfinding things is, so first of all, let me just walk through the different books. So this is the book you and I have been playing through, Legion of Shadow, which has been really cool. The second book in the series is this one, The Eye of Winter's Fury, which is also really cool. I love the art on all these. And then there is The Heart of Fire.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's like almost like the Kraken type of look. And then finally, the latest book, which is Raiders of the Dune Sea. And that's the one we're going to be playing in. Okay. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be, you and I off camera are going to be playing through the prologue. And I'm going to but before we get to that, I'm going to walk you through the rules. I'm going to give you a little snapshot for everybody so you can kind of know maybe what's going on for the prologue that we're not going to show on camera. And then I'm going to walk you through your character sheet and get some things set up for you. So you might be wondering, like, how do you keep all this information straight, things like that? Now, this isn't required, but the Kickstarter before the one that's coming out was actually this, the World Companion. So Michael put together all of his notes that he's had going on in his mind palace and kind of put this all into one book that kind of connects all of this and talks more about the world. So if you're interested in the world we talk about, you can also look at this. Again, all of this we've bought personally over the last couple of years. None of this has been provided. So do with that as you will. But let me read you the little description on the back, and then I'm going to walk through some of the rules, and then we're going to cut so that way we can actually go through the prologue. Okay, so for Raiders of the Dune Sea by Michael J. Ward, again, this is the fourth book. Many truths lie hidden beneath the desert sands. You're an orphan, born with a strange gift for magic. Hunted by the church, you have fled south to the desert lands of Kitesh, lured by tales of exotic adventure and fabulous riches. However, a simple treasure-seeking mission quickly turns sour, plunging you into the heart of a criminal underworld, where shady dealings and poison blades hide a deadly secret. Do you have what it takes to survive on cutthroat tides of the Dune Sea? You decide in this epic fantasy adventure, one where you make all the decisions.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Sounds really interesting. I'm excited to figure out my character.
Yeah. So how this works is there's some pretty simple combat mechanics. Again, we're not going to go all into that because you're going to get to see some of that on screen. But I want to make sure to just walk you through a couple rule changes. And of course, this is dedicated for Mary, who battles each day with the strength of heroes, and that is his inspiration. So I did want to give that little shout out. So the book opens with some different character sheet stuff. So what I'm putting on the screen right now is actually a live thing with a digital character sheet. So Caitlin, if you wouldn't mind, take up that pen and just kind of write somewhere on it, just so that way they can kind of see how this works. And so this is going to be an interactive character sheet that's just going to be right here in the corner throughout all of this. So that way you're going to be able to track and follow along. And then if you turn that over, it's an eraser. There you go. So that all you have these sheets kind of through here. So if you don't have a thing like this, or if you don't, just go to the Destiny Quest website and print out these sheets for yourself, then you have it here. It has some intro on how this game works. So kind of your choice is your hero, limitless possibilities. Your hero sheet walks through all of this. The biggest thing to know about a hero sheet is that you've got different parts of your body and only one thing of inventory can be in each of those spots at a given time. They can each have different abilities. So like one thing can be on the head. It actually even points. And the abilities can do like different magical abilities. And there's a whole glossary of these in the back. So when they come up, we'll let you know what they are. And I've also made it where Caitlin can have a second sheet so that way she can take notes and be able to track any of her notes on her character sheet. Taking notes. Thank you. So the main 4 stats, though, are speed, which is super simple. You roll 2d6, so 2 6-sided die each. So the monster or monsters, and then also your hero, and add your speed. Whoever has a faster speed, they're the only one that attacks. That's how combat works. Then you apply your either brawn or magic. So brawn is going to be like strength-based things. Magic is going to be more magic-based things. So it's going to be an MA or an AR. This is all on the other sheet. If you look, just go back. Stop. If you look, it's all right here for you.
There you go.
Yeah. And then there's a total at the bottom.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a new layout from the first book. So that's just all going to be new to her. And then you're going to choose, in the battle if you're going to use brawn or magic for that attack. And then finally, it's armor. So if you're taking damage, let's say you're taking 10 damage and you have an armor score of 3, you would take off 3 from that 10 and you would take 7. That's how damage is going to work. That's exactly the same. There might be the opportunity to have a career by encountering different people and learning different traits. So that's all the same. Your backpack, you still only got 5 spots for it. There might be opportunities for you to expand it. There's a new thing with augments. There might be opportunities for you to get some augments to yourself. And we'll see that if it comes up. Also on this is going to be different quests. I'm going to show all that on screen in a second. Let me flip through. That's all the combat and how that works. Again, it was very easy to explain. One completely new thing, though, is pets and minions.
Pets?
I know. Yeah, I guess that's why Penny's here.
Aww.
And I don't know if this is going to come up, but does have advanced rules, pets and minions. It says during your adventure, you may be given the opportunity to train a pet or summon a magical minion to fight by your side.
Well, hopefully we don't summon Penny because she will just
Sleep. Well, there actually is a passive stance, but it's kind of like Pokemon, and you can only have one out in a battle at a time. And so if that comes up, we'll dig more into those rules. But first of all, what I need you to do, Caitlin, says take your adventure online. Here's the website, destiny-quest.com. And it says you can join the conversation there, but it's time to begin. Before you start your adventure, don't forget to check your hero sheet has been fully updated so that it should display 30 in your hero's health box at the bottom.
Okay.
30 silver in your hero's money pouch.
30?
Yep, 30. And your hero's name.
I have to come up with my name?
Yeah, you have to come up with a name.
I have such a good name for Wara.
Yeah, you do.
It took a while, so.
And what'd you go with?
Emmerich.
Why Emmerich?
Because it kind of sounds like turmeric, and that's the color I see when I look at it.
That's fair. That's actually pretty great. Okay, so real quick, just some other tips. So obviously I had Caitlin look at the cover. If you want to use like a fantasy name generator, go to a website, just Google those. You can do that. But again, what's going to happen right now is we're going to jump ahead in a second because Caitlin and I are going to play through the prologue, which is actually going to take you on a quest. It's a little different. I already looked kind of at it. And then we'll come back and we're going to show you the map and kind of Caitlin's going to give an update of kind of where her character's at, Emmerich. And then going to get to choose what's ahead. So jump cut. Okay, so we are back. We did the prologue. Plot twist. Caitlin changed her outfit. I grew a beard. No, it didn't take that long. In full transparency, I am finishing a PhD, and we did the prologue, which was great. We had a great night with that, and we planned to film this part the next day. But then I got some information from my dissertation committee of like, hey, you need to have stuff done in like 2 weeks, which they didn't communicate. So, hey, it's been a journey. I'm now 270 something pages into that document. It's been a fun ride. It's just nice to talk about my thing. That's for a whole nother video of how this dissertation thing went. I loved it, by the way. And depending on when you see this, I may or or may not be a doctor.
Which is true.
That is crazy. Cool. But a cool thing about the Destiny Quest system that we totally didn't plan for in this is that legitimately we took like 2 weeks in between these, and we're just picking it right back up. We did that with the first book. It's kind of cool how you can play a little bit, play like a scenario or a couple scenarios depending on the length, and then kind of just put it down and maybe come back to it the next weekend, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I think it has a really nice way of like, you can step away and then like really dive into the world and story and then have a break and then immediately jump right back in, which is really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. And unlike other board games and games that we have, obviously we have a lot of games, all I had to do was close the book and turn off the notepad.
Right.
Which is really cool. So with that, we're going to recap the prologue real quick. But Caitlin, can you remind us your character's name?
Yeah, so my character's name is Emmerich. He is like a vagabond, I would say, traveling, exploring this world, and kind of also trying to figure out who he is. If I'm remembering correctly, he was escaping persecution from the church.
Yeah, at some point in his youth, the church were involved, like an orphanage or foster home kind of situation, and that's why he came south. And if you remember, that was also in the back of the text.
Yeah.
So that was happening.
So vagabond traveling.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out who he is.
Yeah, and we don't want to give any spoilers for the prologue.
Right.
But I'm going to give it was a very different prologue than the first book, and I know Michael likes to offer something new with each of the books, not just the prologue, but in general, kind of has that approach of like, why am I writing a new book? It's because I want to offer new things. This one kind of started out for me, kind of like Han Solo in Mos Eisley Bar, where your character was with another character and you had to escape. And then this was by far a much longer prologue, though, I will say that.
Yeah.
But it did make you make a couple choices, and it also involved other people in the story. Like there was things going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail in the prologue.
I read a lot in the prologue, but there was a lot that happened.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the prologue in this one was almost like Act 1 in the first book.
Agreed.
Yeah, of just the amount and the arc that was already there, and so. We haven't even started the whole thing.
Nope.
So this is going to be really cool to kind of jump in. But with that, in the prologue, it did walk her through, and you got some different items. Can you walk us through what those are real quick?
So I have a seaweed shawl, which is a cloak. It has the ability of heal and then a +2 health overall. So instead of starting at a 30 health, I'm at 32, which is pretty nice. I also have a merc leather, which is for my chest, so it's basically a little bit of armor. I've got some rusty spurs, which I think seem appropriate for a vagabond.
Texas.
That too. A vagabond who's just out there discovering the world. And then I have a cell sword and then a timekeeper ring, which is pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Which has the ability of 6 sense, which... I can change an opponent's roll of 6 on a die to a 1 once per combat, which I think is going to come into handy.
Yeah, so essentially when anytime an opponent once per combat would roll a 6, which is the highest they can roll, you'd be like, nope.
Yeah.
Whether that's on the speed roll, whether that's on the attack.
I have a feeling you're not going to like that.
I have a feeling it's going to come to bite me.
Yeah. Exactly.
But that's cool because I'd rather, honestly... her get to triumph over things because like that's part of why we do this, right? And
so I can continue to win at life.
Yeah, I mean you win at every game we play. So real quick, what happens now? So when you finish the prologue, we got to a spot where you get to entertain and go into the first act's map.
Yeah.
Unlike the first book we were playing, which had 3 acts, this one has 2 that I know of. And I'm going to show this to the camera briefly, but I'm also going to then show it to Caitlin because I'm going to put the other one up on the screen. But essentially, right here on the inside of the book, it has the map. How the map works and where you're at The prologue left you at a spot where you can either go to town. So every map has town spaces, which is that spot with the orange and the little hut. It says number 67. You are not going to do that. So we're not doing that. We're specifically going to be doing one of the 2 green quests per this, because we don't want to spoil all those things, because there's usually some cool things that happen in the town. I've seen in the town really play on the mechanics a lot, which is cool. But how it works is there's green quests, orange quests, blue quests, and red quests. They get harder and harder. Typically green through blue typically has a little bit more story, where red is going to have story, but it's going to be really, really hard and difficult. So you're kind of want to go around and get resources before going into those. But if you ever played Breath of the Wild, you can go straight and try and do the final thing, which there are legendary monsters, which it looks like a spider in black. And then at the very bottom of the page, typically there's a little skull, and that is the boss monster. That quest, you need to be okay with the entire act before you choose that one.
Yeah.
Because once you do that one, you're essentially saying to the book, I want to move on to the next act. So you could do that right now. We're not doing that.
No.
You're going to be picking between 2. You're going to be picking between number 39 and number 61. So if we look at them, number 39 has kind of is this like broken down building in the middle of a woods. And 61 is by the shore, and there's a lighthouse and stuff. And you've done some stuff by the shore just now.
Yeah.
But let me turn to those, because Michael did say we can spoil the names of those.
Okay.
So the one...
I already have one I'm leaning towards, but I'll wait.
Okay. The one in the middle of the woods the quest is called the Widowmaker.
Okay.
And the one by the coast, number 61. So all you do is turn whatever passage number it shows there, you just turn to that passage. Now, it's important to realize that that is not page number. So sometimes when you're first getting used to this, it might be a little weird. This one is called For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Ooh, that's the one I was leaning towards.
Yeah.
I want to do 61.
Okay, 61 it is. Okay, so you chose For Whom the Bell Tolls, which in this case is passage number 61. So there's a ton of passages in here, and I'm going to be flipping back and forth between things, because you never have the whole thing all at once as a narrator or as a reader. It kind of gets you to a point, and then you're going to be making choices. And so Caitlin is going to be in 100% control of all the places we turn to, all that kind of fun stuff. If I write anything down, it's just so I can track some different stuff on my own end. Caitlin's going to be able to track all her stuff on here. But again, you're going to the kind of eastern coast.
Yes.
And Penny's kind of checking out what you're doing. Okay. The sun is setting low in the west, turning the sky to a fiery brimstone. Aware that you will need to make camp soon, you kick your heels up and urge Betsy. Oh, by the way, she has a horse named Betsy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Technically, you stole your horse back.
That's right.
Yeah, but you have a horse named Betsy. You kick your heels and urge Betsy into a gallop, hoping to find a settlement or at least a canyon hollow that will shelter you from the bite of the wind. The salty tang carried the low-lying mist and is a reminder that the coast is near, and that the memories bring you still raw and painful.
Okay.
Lights up ahead force you to slow, your hand falling to your weapon as you canter warily towards a makeshift camp. Half a dozen wagons are pulled up next to the roadside, with a bizarre menagerie of characters milling about in the lantern light. 2 children are chasing each other, wearing a ghoul mask and black capes. Everywhere you see a woman gesturing before a full-length mirror that has been propped up against a barrel, apparently speaking into a skull resting in the palm of her hand. A quick scan of the others confirms that this is a troupe of actors, some in costume, others about various tasks. As you ride into the camp, a man hurries towards you, waving your hands to grab your attention. He is short, with wiry spectacles and a disarray of his hair. It's like he's been struck by an electrical storm. His fine clothes are muddied, and his face flushed. Oh, boundless joy, please, oh, will you lend me an ear to my most tragic misfortune? Will you? So every time you kind of get a choice, it always starts with will you, so it's going to be a thing here. Will you ask where the actors are headed, ask what play the actors are rehearsing, or ask about his tragic misfortunes?
Ask about his tragic misfortunes.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
So what it did is it gave me 3 different page numbers, and depending on what response she gave, I get to turn to a different passage. And I'm going to... Usually it's a good idea to hold on to this other one, because it might have us go back there. So I'm going to hold that. My play, my finest work. It's been stolen, he gasped breathlessly. Without it, I am nothing. Weeks, nay, months of channeling such exquisite and poignant art, only to have it snatched away by a pair of ignorant, thieving miscreants. Can't you just write another one, you ask, shrugging off his apparent crisis?
Oh, no.
Write another? Another? His eyes almost pop out of his head, cheeks reddening as he chokes on the words. But it was the unbridled and unbound language of perfection, a dramatic masterpiece that would rival even the tragedies of Demora. It is the play that I will be remembered for. The play that... Who took it? You interrupt.
I don't care.
Looking straight to get to the point. The man tugs angrily at his mess of hair. 2 waifs, twins that I was an erroneous fool to show kindness to. They filled my ears with venomous lies. Oh, how they wanted to join the stage, tread the boards, bask in the glory and magnanimous applause. And I wanted to believe. Here, 2 strays, brought low by the fickless of fate, and now a chance for me to raise them up to greatness. You give an impatient sigh as you listen to the man's diatribe. Wouldn't a pair of thieves prefer to steal gold? What are they going to do with a play? A striking point, he replies, stabbing the air with his finger. I actually did that. That was kind of good. And one that highlights our thieves' exasperating ignorance. They took my case, my personal case, no doubt thinking it had valuables and coin. But it was my play, my life's work. He gestures across the wagons and the land beyond. Fools went into the marsh, thinking that we wouldn't follow. We tried. He looks down at his muddy clothes with revulsion. Oh, 'twas a trickster's game. We got lost and spun about and ended up with no sense of right course. It was a blessed miracle that we made it back at all. And those villains, he puts his hands to his temple, shaking his head. Those low-life flitches, they do not know the magnitude of the crime they have committed. Will you ask where the actors are headed, ask what play the actors are rehearsing, or agree to help catch the thieves?
So when you were saying all this, I was instantly reminded of the scene in Ever After, the Drew Barrymore like Cinderella movie, where they have Leonardo da Vinci that they run into, and then the gypsies or thieves or whoever like steal the Mona Lisa, and they're like, go after them, they stole something, and they're like, what on earth did they steal? And then it's the painting of the Mona Lisa. So that's exactly what just happened. So of course I'm gonna go capture the Mona Lisa / the play that he wrote.
Okay, yeah, you don't care about the camp at all.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Okay. 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 You slide down from your saddle and walk over to the edge of the camp. The salt marsh stretches out before you, a glittering expanse of mud and water, stubbed with reeds and gnarled leafless trees. Not the most inviting or hospitable of places. What kind of head start do the thieves have? The man scratches his cheek. Several hours by my accounting. Too many. And exactly how old are these thieves of yours, you ask? Mere children. The boy barely in age to cultivate a beard. You nod thoughtfully. It's getting dark. They chose the marsh to mask their tracks, but they've probably hid somewhere, waiting for the morning. They won't have gone that far, you say. The man looks confused. You'd have us wait till morning? You glance up at the crimson-bled skies, estimating that in a few more hours of decent light before nightfall. I have no intention of delaying, you say. If the price is right, and you turn to eye him squarely in the face, awaiting his response about if the price is right. Oh, yes, yes, the man waves dismissively. Coin is no problem. You will be well compensated, but I am coming with you.
Great.
Oh, no. You hold up your hands. Oh, yes, it is my play, my dearest love, and I will fend for her through whatever dangers, whatever menaces that may oppose our grand and noble quest. You look him up and down with skepticism. Can you use a sword? No. The man folds his arms. But the pen is mightier than the sword, is it not? You imagine a few cutthroats and murderers might disagree. We'll need a bodyguard for you then, because I ain't watching your back if things get out of hand. Got any candidates in mind? You ask him.
Smart idea.
Yeah. Of course. The man claps his hands together and then leads you to the back into the camp. I am Archibald Inksblot.
Oh, wait, Archibald Inksblot?
Inksblot.
Okay, it sounds like Inksblot.
I kind of like that. We can go with that. Yeah, by the way, you can do you. Have fun with this.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard of me.
Nope.
Your hard stare says otherwise. Turn to this next passage. So if you notice, you can kind of choose to do anything. Like, you just blatantly ignored the rest of the camp. It's like, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just do you in this. So if you're playing this, you might go and talk to the actors and stuff. We don't know what that looks like, because that's not what we're doing in this. So just know that as you're experiencing this. Okay. Archibald leads you over to one of the wagons where a man is sitting on the footstep, shaking mud and water from one of his boots. His leggings are caked in dirt, suggesting that he was one of those who accompanied Archibald in his previous expedition. He sees you approaching and hastily begins pulling on his boot. He knows where this is going. This is Manders, says Archibald, my leading man. Manders stands, puffing out his rather large gut like a prize peacock. He may have once been handsome, but over the years they haven't been kind. His hair is thinning, showing more white than blonde, his expanding gut suggesting he is a penchant for the good life, and a rapier is tied to his waist. It's a sword. A pleasure to meet you, stranger. I am the one and the only Manson Manders, the greatest. You interrupt him by nodding down at his rapier. Can you use that?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you just kind of point at... Yeah, you just completely cut him off.
Show.
Yeah. He drops his hand to the hilt. Of course. I was taught my craft at the Ponsbury College by the illustrious Grandmaster Killen Lighthand. You reach down and begin unfastening the straps. You're wearing it wrong. Too difficult to draw. Allow me. And you proceed to adjust the straps, tying them lower on the scabbard, so pulling the blade, so the blade hangs higher across his thigh. Put your hand here, you instruct him. Pull away from you when you draw. Manders follows your guidance, whipping out the narrow blade with a grudging nod of approval. And there's Jacobs, says Archibald, placing his hand on your shoulder and turning you. Behind the wagons is a young man, possibly of similar age to yourself. and he's throwing knives onto a wooden board propped up against a tree. His quick flicks of the wrist send each glittering dagger spinning through the air with a practiced precision. He notices that you're watching him and nods silently in the greeting. Will you choose Manders to join you, or choose Jacob to join you?
I feel like they gave us all sorts of information about Manders and nothing about Jacob.
He's throwing daggers with precise precision, but yeah, you haven't talked to him at all. Nothing. You got nothing. Just solidarity nod.
This is where it becomes difficult to make decisions.
Yep. And so on my page, I see, depending on who she picks, I turn to a completely different section of the book.
I'm gonna say Jacob.
Jacob?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep, that one. Okay, Jacob. Okay. By choosing Jacob, you'll benefit from the following special ability. I'll make note of this.
Nice.
But you can make note of it too. The following special ability during your course of this next quest. Make a note of it and the details on your hero sheet. Throwing knives. Before combat begins, it's a movement-based thing. Before combat begins, you can automatically inflict 3 damage, ignoring armor, to one opponent.
That's fun.
Note, this will not inflict any of your other weapons' passive abilities to the opponent. Yeah, so start a combat, bam! You just get to snipe off 3 damage.
Cool. So where does that go?
That's just put that on the next page.
Okay. So
Yeah, because, you have a modified.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now I turn to a completely next section. So depending on what you chose, you got a different power right then, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's new. We haven't experienced that. Thoughts?
I like it.
I wanted you to pick the dagger guy.
Yeah.
The muddy waters stuck to your boots, making progress difficult and tiring. There are no tracks to follow or signs of firmer land, so you proceed blindly forwards in the hopes that some clue will eventually present itself. After half an hour of wading through the reeds, you finally spot an island to your right, where the pillars are of cracked stonework. They're visible through the fingers of the mist. Will you enter those ruins,
Okay.
or continue through the swampy waters?
I'm gonna go to the ruins.
The ruins?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it's really easy with the storytelling in here and the descriptions and stuff to like really have a good movie playing through my head. You were actually asking me that the other night of like, when you're reading, do you like have a story in your head? And I feel like it's really hard not to when you're doing this.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that you have that, but it's also interesting that like you're making choices in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting for me because I'm like, ooh, I wonder what would happen. And so I've got my own like,
Yeah.
it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So we both have our own stories in our heads. So you drag yourself out of the swamp and into the island that was to your right, grateful for temporary reprieve from the muddy waters. Amongst the boulders and thorns, there's a remnant of a large rectangular building. Stone walls and columns hint at its original size, possibly a grand palace once upon a time, but now a mere skeleton, scabbed with mud and a foul-smelling yellow mold.
Lovely.
Yeah. You can't help but to wonder the purpose of such a place and who might have built it. Is Manders with you?
No, he is not.
It actually said, depending on which character you have, you're going to turn to a different section.
Yeah, you just never know. Now it kind of like,
But it could have been a bad thing.
I know. Well, that's true. That's very true. Because he would have like tripped on something and fallen and like stabbed himself with his rapier.
Yep. Archibald seems infatuated with this place. He walks around, tugging at the brambles of his hair, his head turning in every direction. What a wondrous find! He speaks breathlessly. Can one even imagine reciting the lines of Dondris in such a surrounding? No, the madness! He taps at his forehead before quickly raising a finger. Of course, yes! The tragedy of Everglade's fall. He sees... See, here's gentle Jocelyn. He gestures flamboyantly to a broken column. Laid low by the poison of her lover, dreams turned to punishing delusions, her home now a ruin, lost of ambition. Archibald persists with this absurd ramble, but your attention has already drifted way away to the sickly liquid sounds that are now coming out of one of the ruin's walls.
Great.
Yeah. You watch with revulsion as a crust of yellow mold starts to move, sliding over the stonework in its efforts to reach the ground. Archibald gives a cry, beckoning to you. Look, look, he points fanatically. This place repels us. Similar clods of mold are now dropping from other rocks and stones. They lurch hungrily towards you with a jerking sequence of movements. And worse, when the slimes touch each other, they join together, growing larger and larger, and you realize you must act quickly before they are overwhelming you. It's time to fight. Okay, so it now presents me with the stats for the yellow mold creature. So I have speed, brawn, armor, and health. You notice magic is not part of that because you just usually pick whichever one's higher anyway. So it just presents like this one's brawn. Now what's going to happen is we're going to go through rounds of combat. I haven't really explained combat, but I'm going to do it real quick.
Okay.
So how it works is we're each going to roll 2d6, so 2 6-sided dice. Let's do that. So I got a 4.
And I got a 6.
Right, and then we add our speed to that, which in this case, the speed of the yellow mold is 1, so they're at 5.
And I also have another speed, so I'm at 7.
So you have 1 speed?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at 7. 7 beats 5, therefore Caitlin, or Emmerich, gets to roll for attack. So you're going to roll 1 die.
Okay.
And then you're going to add whichever score is higher, your brawn or magic. If they're tied, you can use whichever one you want. So which one are you going to use?
They're the same. So I will use brawn.
Okay. Now I'm going to pause you here.
Okay.
And remind you.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah, I have Jacob.
There you go.
So I'm going to use Jacob's throwing knives, so I get 3 damage, ignoring armor.
Correct.
Once per turn.
Now, the reason I said that is because... it's once per combat.
Oh, okay. Well,
once per combat. The reason I said that is because you're going to get a lot of stats and some powers and stuff, which are epic, but it's very easy for you to potentially forget some of those. And we want to make sure that you're going to have those so that way it's just usually a good idea at the start of combat to refresh your knowledge. And because of this, toxic growth. At the start of each combat round, the yellow mold restores 2 of its health.
Oh, great.
Yep, so it actually only won 1. Okay.
Well, I need to warm up my dice rolling abilities.
Yeah, so you're going to roll 1d6. This is your actual combat.
There we go.
So what'd you roll?
5.
5, and then you add either your magic or brawn.
So I'll add brawn for 1, so I'm at 6.
Right, and then I subtract off the armor, which in this case is 1. Now we're going to do combat a lot faster from here forward. I'll still tell you every time we start a new combat. So you're at 6, I take off the armor, and I'm just going to mark on my sheet 5 more damage, so they're at a total of 6.
Okay. So now we do speed again?
Yep, we do speed again. That's it. That was the whole combat round.
I'm at 6, 7.
And I'm at 8.
Oh, no.
But, what did I roll?
An 8?
A 6.
Oh.
One of those dies is a 6. Again, reminding yourself of the skills.
I guess I'll use my 6th sense because of your health ability.
Yeah, I'm healing right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's going to drop. So then I get to go first?
Yep.
And then do I get to use Jacob's throwing knives again? Or
No.
that was just once per combat?
Just at the start of combat.
Okay. Just checking.
Yep.
Because if I can get away with doing it again twice, I would.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm rolling.
1 die.
Dang it, you noticed. Just kidding. Wishful thinking. Ah, look at that, a 6 plus
So-
1 for Braun. I'm at 7.
7. Okay. So let's do that again.
I'm at 8.
And I am at 5. So you can.
Well, I was at 9 technically.
Wow. Yeah, it's you. Caitlin is rolling really well. So yeah, combat, bring it on.
Okay. Doesn't always happen. 3 and
Plus 1.
4.
Okay. So that's going to go to that. And then we're going to go back down because it keeps healing.
No, love
You got to kill it faster. Must kill faster. Must kill faster. Okay, so actually sometimes we even just look at them and I'm like, it's you. Because I rolled a 3 and
Yeah.
she rolled 7. So it's absolutely Caitlin. Again, being very lucky.
Come on, let's get that mold. 5.
5. So, describe to me how you kill the mold.
I feel like as it kind of like blobs together and it gets bigger and bigger, I shove my cell sword directly into like the core of it, which is its weakest point.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and then from there it kind of just like dissolves.
Like,
Yeah.
just like it was like,
That's it.
I don't know how I made that noise, but I did. So
I'm
now
just gonna point out that it's really helpful having someone like my husband Bruce, who is really good at number 1 narration, but 2 like prompting me to like describe it, because I feel like when I played like D&D and other role playing games on my own, I'm like, I don't know how I did it, but like you ask really good questions and you like make me. And like even when
Nice.
I'm like, I don't know, it just shoved, like it just died. Like you forced me to like try to be creative,
Yeah.
which I think makes it more fun.
it
for
also
all
makes
of
it
us.
more fun for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a win-win.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so clumps of decaying mold shower across the stonework as you slice and chop your way through the sentient creatures. Archibald has clambered atop a broken pillar, stabbing ineffectually at the air with what looks like a paper knife. You just shake your head in exasperation. It's
the
fun.
pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah, but he's using paper, not
No,
pen.
it's fair. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt.
It's fine though. They're dead. You just shake your head and nudge one of them with your foot to be sure. Oh, I see one twitching. He shrieks and points. Probably heard just one of your plays, and you mutter under your breath. That's kind of funny, actually. Amongst the remains of the mold, you discover that some items appear to have resisted the creature's toxic acid.
Yay, items.
You may now help yourself to one of the following rewards.
Okay.
Carotid Helm for your head, which is +1 armor, and it has an ability called Acid. Acid, and if you want, you can actually print out like all this glossary, but it's also kind of easy just to turn to the back. Okay, Acid. Add 1 to the result of a die roll for your damage score for the duration of combat.
Ooh, that's fun.
So every 6 becomes 7. Every 1 becomes 2.
Yeah.
So that would go on your head, or a moldy blade, which would go on your main hand as a sword for +1 brawn. So no matter what, you're essentially getting +1 in combat.
Yeah. So just those 2?
Just those 2.
Okay, so my cell sword is already +1 bronze.
Right. So you'd have to get rid of the like to be clear, you'd have to get rid of the cell sword to take this.
Right, and I feel like I'm fine with the cell sword, and I'd rather have the helmet. So what's it called again?
Carotid, C-O-R. Yeah, you can zoom in. C-O-R.
It's like thinking.
Yep.
C-O-R.
R-O-D. E-D. Helm.
What?
Carotid helm. Yeah, sorry, it's probably just thinking.
Hang on. Okay. C-O-R-R-O-D. DC.
+1 armor. And your ability is acid.
And remind me again, it's add 1 plus
It's the
1
result of each die for your damage.
to each die or 1?
So you might get skills later that might let you roll 2 dice instead of 1
Okay.
for damage score. +1 per die for damage roll. All combat. Okay. You take up your lantern and lead the others deeper into the ruins. So you're still in the ruins.
Cool.
Yep. Okay. The sound of a child sobbing draws you up onto a rocky shelf.
Okay.
So it's not exactly, when you're going through this, it's not exactly like, ooh, then you're walking and walking. It kind of jumps you to the action.
Yeah.
So it focuses the fun or focuses the story.
Yeah, I feel like that's a nice thing because we don't necessarily need all those details,
No.
but it keeps the action moving and it's more engaging for me as the one making the decisions and you as the one reading. So you're not feeling like you're reading all the time.
It's true, yeah. And it kind of gives me some cool things to read about.
Yeah.
It's kind of like those versions of Lord of the Rings that exist on YouTube of like Lord of the Rings, but without the walking, which is a thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. But the sound of a child sobbing draws you up to a rocky shelf, dominated by the ruins of a round watchtower. So that was the thing in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
One side is completely crumbled away, while the remainder appears to be caught in a struggle with the surrounding vines. It's kind of held together with the vines. And creepers to avoid a similar fate. You step over the tumble-drawn stonework, lantern light pooling around you in the scraggly bushes have taken root amongst the cracked paving. Against the furthest wall, a young boy, no older than 13, remember there was 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
A young boy, no older than 13, is hugging his knees, trembling uncontrollably. "Thief!" shrieks Archibald, stomping towards him. You quickly head him off, pulling an arm out to hold him back. "Easy, let me handle this," you say. "But where's my play?" Archibald stamps his foot like a petulant child. You squat down beside the boy and ask, "What happened?" The boy looks at you with a red-rimmed eyes. "He's a bloomin' simpleton," snaps Archibald. "You'll get nothing from him. But for that thieving sister of his," his eyes rove across the ruins, "must be hiding somewhere else in here."
Is it bad that I feel like the kid is just pranking him?
That'd be funny.
I totally think that. I'm not giving.
Yeah, but remember,
that.
this kid has apparently red eyes.
Like actual, the
I don't know.
color red,
We're
or
gonna
is it
find
red
out.
from crying.
It could be red from crying.
Okay.
That's true. See? Different interpretations.
Yeah.
There's a clink of armor and the scraping sound of metal on stone. You spin around, weapon raised, to see a figure step into the lantern light. Tall, clad in plate mail, with a white, glowing longsword dragging beside them. Their face hidden by a crimson, pummeled helm. So like a helmet that's really beat up.
Mm-hmm.
A ghostly light spilling between the narrow visor. "What in the name?" Archibald shrinks back, afraid. The child makes some gargling sound and covers his face with his hands. Who are you? Who are you? You demand, trying to mask your own fear and uneasiness.
I'm gonna feel really terrible.
Yeah, you made this happen. Does it really matter? Oh wow, that's no. Who are you? You demand, trying to mask your own fear and uneasiness. Does it really matter? The knight asks in a mournful drone.
Front row.
I suppose you're looking for the girl, aren't you? You glance at Archibald and then back at the knight. Yeah, we are. Well, that's rather unfortunate, isn't it? The knight lifts up his sword, the light cutting sharp shadows across his gilded breastplate. There's a long and uneasy pause. Then, to everyone's relief, the knight proceeds to sheath his blade, the light winking out of existence. What happened? You ask, once you're able to find your voice again. Where's the girl? Oh, it's nothing to do with me. The necromancer took her. I suppose it was inevitable, really. That's what happens out here.
Oops.
Will you ask about the necromancer? Ask about what the knight's doing here, or proceed with the quest?
I'm gonna do 2.
Ask what the knight's doing here?
Yes.
I have a duty, I suppose. The knight's armor creaks as he turns to look across the marsh. You see, the air is thin here, where this world touches the other. The sailors who drown and are washed in by the sea. The magic of this place lures them and stops them from passing on. Keeps the spirits here in a sort of purgatory. Like you? Gasps Archibald with sudden interest. Oh, tell me you're a tormented soul, trapped here for all eternity? That would be so beautifully poetic. Was it a lost love?
I want to smack him in the face so bad.
Some unspeakable sin? The knight's helm scrapes round to stare at Archibald. My duty, protect the bell. It calls the ship from the other place to guide the sailors' spirits back home. Alas, I lost it.
The bell?
The necromancer took the bell, and is now the sailors' spirits are trapped here again. I have failed my duty, my rather uselessness, really. Will you ask about the necromancer or proceed with the quest?
Ask about the necromancer.
Which, by the way, if the girl's gone with the necromancer, it's kind of a crazy thing to think of proceeding with the quest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Necromancer?
Yeah. Duh. It also, like, obviously I'm not flipping pages, but, like, makes, like, no sense. Like, you're not, like, going further and further.
No, I'm back at the beginning.
Yeah.
I was at, like, I was on, like, 300, and now I'm at, like, 30.
Yeah, I feel like I just wanted to point that out.
No, it definitely keeps you going, because it's, you don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
The necromancer. He's rather bothersome,
I
says
think
the,
so.
yeah, right, says the knight in his readily despondent tone. He takes the spirits of the drowned sailors and puts his magic into them, makes them work for him. I think he gets some pleasure out of it all. His broad shoulders shrug, armor clanking. It's a bit miserable, really, when you really think about it. Will you ask what he's doing here, or proceed with the quest? I'm going to stop you. It has me turn to the same passage we were just at. So it had multiple paths to go back to that other thing. So your actual only option is to proceed with the quest. So there was kind of a little circle there. So if you had missed it, it did give you one opportunity to hear more about the knight.
Okay, so what were the 2 questions still?
You just got the one. Proceed with the quest.
Okay, yeah.
Let me get some. Also, these passages are rather manageable, which is really great. Okay, the knight points into the curling mist that dances across the waters. The one you seek went that way. Although you're probably wasting your time with her. The necromancer will not spare her.
Great.
You know this. But she has my play! Snaps Archibald, slapping a fist into the palm of his hand. He turns to glare at the boy, and then he gives a tiny yelp. He's gone!
The boy? What the heck?
You hurry to the edge of the rock shelf to see the boy splashing through the mire toward another island of ruined buildings. Leave him, says Archibald, waving his hand in the air. He didn't have it. Let the swamp take him for all we care. We need to find the girl. Will you chase after the boy or follow the knight's directions to find the girl?
Okay, so I really don't give a crap about Archibald and his thing, like truly, especially now.
Follow the boy? Chase after the boy? Or follow the knight's directions?
I'm gonna follow the boy just to...
Yeah, what's Emmerich gonna do?
I'm just gonna piss off Archibald.
Okay.
Because I'm fed up with him and his paper sword. Because what is he gonna do? He's gonna have to follow me.
The marsh is clearly full of dangers, especially for a young and defenseless boy. You decide to ignore Archibald's pleads and take the chase. The reed-clogged waters pull at your legs, slowing you down, whilst the rolling banks of mist soon have you completely disoriented. It isn't until you hear a pealing crackle of laughter, followed by whimpering cries of pain, that you're able to narrow down the boy's position. Instead of making for the ruins, the boy has deviated deeper into the waters.
Of course he has.
Vines and creepers are now wrapped up around him like the coils of a snake, winding up around its neck to elicit the choking grasp. His cackling tormentor is a hunched-back old woman, clad only in a net of shells and seaweed. Her fast fingers dance with magic as she weaves the marsh reeds to crush the boy.
Goodness.
By the way, there's a whole lot of like creatures and stuff in these books.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot.
Yeah.
As you splash clumsily towards her, the woman rips a bone necklace from around her neck, tosses it into the water, and a second later, the marsh begins to churn and bubble with magic, before finally vomiting forth a pair of skeletons, seaweed dripping from their black bones.
I feel like it got like dark like real quick.
Real quick.
Yeah.
They stumble toward you with dark life of their own,
Ooh.
rusty swords held at the ready. It's time to fight.
Hey, they got rusty swords, but I got rusty spurs.
Spurs, yeah, because you can heal. Okay, so this one, yeah, there you go. This one actually has the reason I'm going to call this one out. So it has the Marsh Witch as the main person, and then two skeletons, each with their own stats. Special abilities are body of bones. Skeletons are immune to a thing called bleed. You don't have bleed. Outnumbered. At the start of every combat round, you must take 1 damage from each surviving opponent, ignoring armor. This ability only applies when you're faced with multiple opponents. So, kill off one of the opponents, lowers that number.
Okay.
Light's Hope. If you have the Warding Lantern,
Which I do not.
you do not, then I'm not going to read that. Typically, by the way, when we play, I will read these special abilities And I typically only tell Caitlin, and I'll illustrate that here in a second, when they take effect. Okay, so you're in combat. So, by the way, you kill the March Witch, you're good.
Marsh, not the march.
Marsh, yeah.
And by the way, I have 2 armor now because of my
Good for you. No, you didn't take any damage last time.
I'm just saying.
Okay, so hold on. Hold on. That's different. I need to check something.
Okay.
What's nice is it does make it where you can check stuff real quick. Remember this number, 347.
347.
Okay. We're going to Okay, so I actually just looked some up. Because there's the March Witch, the skeleton, and another skeleton, they actually each have their own different stats. How we played this in the first book is you kill the main thing. It's their magic controlling the skeleton type thing, and the other one's fall. And if you're playing this, you could totally go, no, you got to kill all 3. We're personally going to go with if you kill her, then the other 2 are going to drop.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can totally kill a skeleton first. You can totally do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's how we're gonna play it. So just wanted to be transparent about that, just in case we got that part wrong. But either way, we're gonna have fun. Bring it home. Okay.
I got 8 plus 1 speed, so I am at 9.
I got 7 plus 2 speed. I am also at 9. What happens when we both roll the same thing, this is actually kind of perfect.
Yeah.
We did not plan this. Is
Great
you
roll.
just go to the next roll. But remember, outnumbered at the end of every combat round, you must take 1 damage from each surviving monster. So you do get hit for 3. But I'm going to remind you, what didn't you do?
I didn't use my throwing knives.
No, you did not.
So I'm going to do that.
Yep. So, okay, they're at 3. You're at 3. So you mark off on your sheet that you're at 29.
But I have 2 armor.
Ignoring armor.
Oh. It's the 3 damage?
Yep, because there's 3 people. Okay.
Okay. What did you get?
I have 9, a 6 and a 3. A 6 and a 3.
I'm at 10.
Well, I am at 11.
Ugh.
I have a 6 and a 3.
Oh, a 6 and a 3, which means I can use my 6th sense.
Yep, so now it's you.
Okay, thank God. So I'm going to roll.
Penny's head's going like crazy.
She's the one who put herself there.
Yes, she did.
Okay, so my 3 plus 1. Yeah, so 4.
Nope.
Why not? Didn't hit?
No.
What?
Remember, you have acid. This is the first time you're using it, so I'm going to remind you. So your 3 is actually always a 4.
That's right. So
So
I'm at
5.
Woohoo!
Who are you attacking? The Marsh Witch, Skeleton 1, or Skeleton 2?
The witch.
Okay. So, and by the way, I assume you use the daggers on the witch?
Yeah.
Okay, and you rolled a 4 plus 1, 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I gotta take that off, and that's at this.
Okay.
Cool.
Stop rolling so well. Ah, I'm at 6, and you definitely.
Oh, by the way, you definitely get 3 damage from there's 3 people standing. Yeah, so I definitely beat you on that. So I'm gonna roll, and you're lucky. Only 3 come your way, but you have 2 armor.
But didn't you say I took 3 damage?
Yeah, that was just at the end of the last round.
Okay.
This is she shoots magic at you.
Okay.
Marsh
So-
magic it for you for
Oh, is
3.
that 26? Or is that 29 and down to 26? Or am I down to 23?
You at the end of last round, you went from 29 to 26.
Okay.
This the witch is like and like threw marsh water at you to lower you another 3 minus your brawn. Not your brawn, your
My
armor.
armor.
Yeah. So how much armor do you have?
25.
You have
So-
25 armor?
No, I have 2 armor, so I'm at
So
25.
3 minus 2 is 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you only go down 1. But then you go down another 3 because 3 of them are still standing.
What? So now I'm... Oh, dang. This is
Yeah,
difficult. Okay, so
you're
now...
outnumbered.
Okay.
Go down 3 more.
Goodness gracious. I like to say I don't do math, especially not public math.
Roll. Roll. Oh, you were close.
I was very close.
I rolled double
I'm at-
6s. There was nothing
I'm at
she could do
11.
because she has a speed of 1. So
But
yeah,
I'm
no,
at 12.
so she's gonna go after you again for another 8 minus your armor.
So 6. What is 22 minus 6?
It is 20 minus 4. 16. Minus another 3.
13. Okay. Well, that's fun. I'm going to get 2 different die.
Yeah, me too. 6. 7.
7, 8.
6, 8. So take 3 damage.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh, that one's followable.
To be fair, there's 3 of them. So
There are
I
3
guess
of them,
it
yeah,
should
like-
be a little difficult for me.
It is you.
11.
Finally. It
Woohoo!
is you.
Okay. So,
Who are you attacking?
the witch.
Okay. Just want to make sure. You have options. Oh, there you go.
6,
Plus?
7. Plus my acid.
So you rolled 6. There's acid on it, making it 7. Plus magic or brawn.
Magic.
They're both the same?
Yeah.
Okay, plus magic.
8.
8.
Did I kill her?
Talk to me how you kill the marsh witch.
Okay. So she had
And the
like...
skeletons crumble.
Yeah. So she had like skeletons and like seaweed and vines and everything like entangling the boy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those have been
He
like...
was gonna die.
Yeah. So that's what she's been using to like... That's why I've been getting knocked down over and over again. And to be fair, if you look at the cover, like, I'm not used to vines.
No. Desert.
And water and all that stuff. So that's why I've been struggling. At least that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah, sure.
I feel like as I am been entangled in all the seaweed and all that kind of stuff, it kind of moves me over to where the 3 knives that I had thrown at her originally. And so I'm able to reach for those and then use my rusty spurs to like cut the vines
Oh, that's cool.
as well, like around my legs. And then I take the 3 knives and I throw them directly at her chest.
Wow. Okay. So
Just made it up.
the witch explodes
Yeah, she does.
into a spray of seawater. Her shell netting and other adornments splashing down into the waters. You may now help yourself to one of the following.
And I'm gonna heal up, right?
So at the end of combat, you always heal back up to your full health. Except if it tells you to. Okay, zoom out so you can kind of see.
Mm-hmm. You can go ahead.
Coral cord for your necklace. It's +1 magic.
Okay. I do not have a necklace.
Marsh light ring. Ability blind.
Okay, I do have a ring, but I have 2 ring
You
spaces.
have 2 ring spaces because you got 10 fingers, theoretically.
Should have 10 rings.
That's a lot of rings. Blind. Oh. Wants me to go to another section.
So the necklace was just +1 magic.
Yep.
Okay.
Blind is the same ability as Webbed. It's a spell ability. Use this ability reduces the number of dice your opponent can roll for attack speed by 1 for 1 combat round. So instead of rolling 2 dice, they'll roll 1. Once.
So it's basically, do I always have +1 magic?
Or do you want to
use it
guarantee,
if I want
try almost guarantee that you can,
to? Yeah.
as long as you roll well still.
What was the necklace called?
It's a coral cord.
Coral cord and the what ring?
Marsh light.
Let's see. I think I'll go with the second ring.
Marsh light?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because, like, I'm still a new character, and I feel like having some more specific things to really help me against the crazy monsters is a better idea.
Yeah, sometimes it'll actually say, like, you can only use magic, or...
Yeah.
But also, like, it's some personalization, because some people might go, like, ooh, I want +1 magic forever. But sometimes it's kind of cool to just have an ability you can do.
Yeah, and I also don't know if Emmerich is more magic or more brawn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like when...
You haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, I feel like for the first book that we did, my character was definitely more magic.
Oh, okay, 100%.
Yeah, but that kind of developed over time. It wasn't like all at once that I figured that out. And so since it's new, I kind of want to keep it open-ended.
Yep.
Okay, so blind is...
Once per combat,
Yep.
opponent rolls 1 less speed die.
Oops. Okay.
Okay. Well, that's unlucky, says the knight, trudging to where the boys collapsed into the mire. Quickly you splash over to the child's side, lifting his head above the surface and peeling away the wet weeds. It's clear that you were too late.
Oh, no.
His face is purple and blotchy, eyes staring sightlessly ahead. There's still time to find the sister, says Archibald, showing little sign of remorse. And our virtuous knight can lead the way? Do I have to? He atones in the bored air. She'll be dead too.
Great.
As long as her despicable corpse is still clutching my play, then I really don't care. Come on! You gently lower the child back into the water,
I feel really bad now because I thought he was a punk kid.
accepting that there's nothing that you can do for him now. Then you follow the others deeper into the marsh.
To be fair, I thought that based off of other scenarios where I was like, oh, I'm going to help the kid. And then... like,
You don't know that he doesn't come back.
That's true.
You don't know. Remember all the souls collect here?
Mm-hmm.
The knight leads the way through the tall reeds, the salty wind growing stronger as you near the coast. You're starting to lose hope of ever tracking down this lost child when Archibald suddenly gives an excited yelps and goes splashing off into the reeds by himself. He reappears clutching a piece of tattered wet paper, trembling with excitement as if he just found a purse of gold. Page 4, he gasps, holding his lantern close to the scrawled writing. Oh yes, the poignant moment when the spirit of Sir Lewin visits Eden Drood, Archibald begins gesturing as he reads from the page. Alas, my heart's blood spills in boundless hurt and hands made scarlet by the coward's deed. No balm of healer's hand can cure such a disgrace that pierces the soul and vehement faith. We don't talk like that, you know, says the knight in a blank tone. When you've been around as long as we have, you don't really have energy for words. Archibald glares at him incredulously. Are you saying I'm too wordy? Less is more, says the knight, before resuming his steady march. Archibald looks thoughtfully at his writing, one hand tugging at his hair. God, he's right. There's no punch, no clarity of vision. A howl raises up from the surroundings of the marshland, drawing Archibald silent. That's rare. And halting the knight. It's followed by the splashing of quick feet. You spin around, eyes scanning the reeds. There! You point to where the long reed... Bless you. You point to where the long reed stems are being knocked aside. Snarls ring clear through the stagnant air. You barely have a chance to ready yourself before a horde of glowing aspirations break through the walls of the reeds. Their clawed hands outstretched to rip and rend. The knight draws his sword and wades into the ghostly spirits, slicing them to tatters with little effort. However, they have a strength of numbers and a fearless ferocity. You charge in to help the knight, and it's time for you to fight. You're facing off against 3 drowned sailors.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Special abilities outnumbered. At the end of every combat round, you must take 1 damage for each surviving opponent ignoring armor.
Okay.
Last hope. Light's hope. If you had the warding lantern...
That's the second time that's come up.
Yep. Then each sailor takes 1 damage at the end of every combat round. But you don't have that.
I don't.
And I'm just going to call it, you got to kill all 3 of these guys.
Okay, well, I'm at least going to remember the fact that I have my throwing knives that I picked up after I killed that marsh witch.
Yep.
So,
there you go.
definitely
You're
gonna
throwing
do that.
them at Drowned Sailor 1, Drowned Sailor 2, or Drowned Sailor 3. And here's a plot twist. They all have a slightly different stat, and I'm not going to tell them what they are.
I'm going to go with 2.
2. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Number 2 has 3 damage. Cool.
Okay. And... No, I don't need... yeah. I'll use acid right now. So that... Oh, no. Blind. That's what I meant. So you can only roll 1
Okay.
for your speed die.
4. And while they all exist, I'm going to go with the highest stat that's there.
Okay, that's fine. So I'm at 9, and obviously
It's you.
you.
Yeah.
Yay!
So it's all you. Which one are you attacking?
2.
Okay.
4, plus my acid is 5, plus my magic is
1. So 6.
6, yeah.
So this goes up that many more. Okay. Tell me how you kill Drowned Sailor 2.
Nice. So as most sailors are, he's slightly drunken, even though he's like a ghostly figure. So he's kind of like, ooh, and so I just stab him directly as he marches towards me.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it again. I'm rolling 2 dice now. I'm coming in with a 10. Oh,
and I
double
got
6s.
a 13 with my,
Yeah,
or actually
it is all
14
you.
with my, no, I only have
13.
13. Yeah,
Yep,
13
13.
with my speed.
It's you. Who are you attacking, number 1 or number 3?
3.
Okay.
6,
6.
7 with my acid.
Tell me how you kill Drowned Sailor number 3.
So I've stabbed the second one, and as the third one comes towards me, it just like, I take the sword and just like I just like take the sword and like and chop him in half.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, we didn't do this last time. Sorry. So you're gonna do this twice. Take 5 damage.
Oh, now.
So you took no, not 5. Take 2 damage plus another 1 damage. So you took 3 damage. 3 damage.
With my armor though, so I take 1.
Not
damage.
ignoring armor.
So 3 damage total.
Yep. I forgot to do it because there's 2 people left, so you got 2 damage.
Okay.
Yep. You can mess up. You can fix it easy. And there's only number 1 left. Who's an 8?
Oh, I'm at 7.
So it is
You beat me.
the first one. You were focused on the other 2.
Yep.
Coming at you for 3.
With my armor or no?
Yeah, you put your armor into this.
Okay, so just 1.
Mm-hmm.
28. Here we go again.
At 10 again.
Oh no. 6.
Nope.
I'm gonna switch up my die.
Ooh, 6.
So 4.
No, it's a 7, but it's a 6.
Oh, I'm gonna use my what's it called?
It is
6 cents.
6 cents.
So 1.
What does that look like?
Oh,
Because he's coming at you. It was gonna hit you
yeah.
hard. The hardest he absolutely could.
It's a sailor, huh?
Yeah. But like, do you like rewind time? Do you just feel like it's coming and like Spidey sense out of the way?
I think I like turn really fast and kick out my left foot behind me where my spurs are.
Kind of like a Matrix. Where
Yeah.
It's like, shoof,
but then
like
he
bullet
trips on my
time.
spurs.
Okay, cool. Well, he's not getting hurt.
Well, I know, but he like
Sure.
yeah.
So you essentially bullet time him.
Sure.
Okay, cool. So that's 1 plus 1 for 2, and your armor is 2, so nothing happens.
Okay, so I'm still at 28.
Yep. that's 12.
Come on. Nope.
Nope. Okay, let's do it again. That is 4, so 2.
26.
Yep.
Come on, one more.
There you
left.
go.
I should be able
So
to
it's
get
at 6.
Oh my god. 5.
Oh, get in there. There we go. So it's at 3, so 1.
What, did you calculate my armor, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
25. Goodness, what the heck is
11.
up there?
Nope.
6. Not good.
6, 7. So that would be 5.
And down to 20. I do have the ability to heal
For 4.
For 4, so.
Yep, you're going to need it because he's at 13.
And I am at
11.
11.
Yep. Oh, it's 2, so it's nothing.
Perfect.
You're lucky you killed the other ones because otherwise you'd be digging every single one
Yeah,
of those.
that's true.
This is you finally.
Finally.
Yeah.
Switch the die. Five. 6.
6?
Yeah.
So he has that much damage.
Okay. Yep.
Yep, it's you.
6.
6?
Yep.
So 5 goes through. So talk to me how you get this last one after all these blows back and forth at you.
Let's see. Oh, I didn't use my blind. Did I use my blind?
You did. Very first round.
Oh, yeah. I should have described that because that would have been cool. Oh, well. So I've stabbed one in the chest,
Then
other
cut
one
through.
in half.
Yep.
The other one, I'm just going to chop off his head.
Okay. Nearly had the snick.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. By the way, her thinking of how she's going to describe it also gives me time to look for the next passage. Thankfully, your weapon is able to harm these ghostly spirits. Oh shit! There's potential it might not have been able to. Breaking whatever dark magic holds them here. On death, they burst into motes of light, leaving their tattered clothing, to drop to the muddied water. Soon, there's nothing left of the angered horde, save but a pile of rags. Amongst them remains a fine purse containing 5 silver.
Woohoo! Okay.
And you may take one of the following items.
Okay.
You've got, I'll wait for you to get back to your other part of the sheet.
You're good.
The rusted nail, which is a left-hand dagger, plus 1 brawn.
Okay.
Yeah. Zoom in more, please.
Okay.
Or the captain's compass,
Ooh, that sounds
which
fun.
is a talisman and has an ability called sure-footed, which is you may re-roll all of your hero's speed dice. You must accept the result of the second roll. So when you fail a roll that was close, you can try and do it again.
Sure. So talisman or left-handed
Dagger,
dagger.
called the rusted nail.
I've got rusty spurs, so I'm kind of cool with the rusty nail, and I feel like I need.
This is a rust kind of colored book.
Yes. I kind of feel like I need a little bit more strength as just opposed to +1. I know I said I was like, I don't know if he's magic or brawn, but
Because it says rusted.
yeah. Okay, so rusted
nail.
rusted nail.
Plus 1 brawn. So you just put a 1 right there. You're moving it around too much.
It's fine.
I need you to center it.
I'm going to once I fix this.
Okay.
And then I heal all the way back, right?
Yeah, I'll hear all the way.
Okay.
Archibald has his handkerchief held to his nose. What in the matter of creatures were they? Sailors, says the knight wearily. Each wreck makes more of them, for the necromancer to bind to his service. If only I had the bell, I could break the magic, send those sailor souls on their way. You notice a page of Archibald's play caught in the flattened reeds. There's another half-trampled one into the mud a few meters away further. You hurried forward to retrieve it, spotting a third even further on. Your thief made a trail.
Oh.
Follow the reeds and we'll find her. Archibald snatches a page from you and pushes you aside to reach the others. Oh, shameful fate, my great work has been defiled so. You hurry after him, motioning for the others to follow. The trail of pages leads you to the coast and a set of chiseled stairs that wind high around a pinnacle of rock. Lying on the sludgy sand at the base of the rock is a red leather case, which has further pages spilling out into the murk. Archibald makes a series of excited noises as he scoops up his case and pages, hugging them to his chest. Oh, I am complete once again, he grasped breathlessly. It's just parchment, says the knight, shrugging his shoulders. Not really life or death, is it? Archibald looks mortified, his mouth hanging open. Do you not understand? This is greater than the life and death. This is true weaving of magic, the very essence of creation. Know a lot about creation, do you? A man's words dry and crisp like a crackling leaves. You turn to the stairs where a dark-robed figure now is standing in the moonlight. A weathered cloak clasped about his shoulders, white hair whipping about a pale and narrow face.
Okay.
The knight draws his sword, its blade shining bright like a second moon. Necromancer, he growls, with the first real hint of emotion in his voice. I won't waste words with you, says the necromancer. He turns and stares up the stairs. Some old friends of yours would like to pay their respects. The knight moves to follow, but you draw him up short, indicating a more immediate threat from amongst the reeds. A host of ghastly specters have started to emerge, some clad in armor, others simple rags. Besides them, gray and rotting corpses shuffle forward, hunched and hobbling, with wounds that are still fresh. You notice a young girl is amongst them.
So those are all the people.
Yeah, that they've turned.
That's great.
Her simple cotton dress spattered with mud, no doubt Archibald's second thief, now in service to the dark necromancer. You really never know where these stories are going to go.
Nope.
The undead pack closes in on all sides, hissing and snarling with the macabre of hunger. Kind of like zombies.
Mm-hmm.
Will you retreat up the stairs where the necromancer went, or try to break through and escape?
Ooh. I feel like I've come this far that I just need to kill the necromancer.
Okay.
Don't you think?
I think it... I wonder if you can take him.
Only one way to find out.
Oh, shit. You quickly urge everyone to retreat up the stairs, realizing that the narrow space will prevent a horde from bringing its full strength to bear on you, because they have to be funneled in. The knight covers your retreat, his bright sword slashing at the rotting bodies and glowing phantoms. You press to the summit, suspecting that the necromancer may be the key to defeating this undead horde.
Right.
As you ascend, the sea wind batters against you, its kneeling cry filling your ears. Onwards, higher and higher, the stair seemingly never ending. Several times you catch sight of the dizzying depths below, where the sheer rock wall breaks into jagged boulders and foaming waves. The vertigo is sickening, almost dragging you to your knees. Muscle ache as you finally reach the summit. And the ruins of an ancient lighthouse, black and ominous against a full moon. The necromancer steps through the crumbling portal of the building. Motioning with his hands, dark runes flash and on the stonework outside, crackling with magical energies. Oh. The others have reached the top of the stairs, and you can now hear screeching and snarling of the undead behind them. For now, the knight is able to hold them off, giving you a chance to defeat the necromancer. However, to reach him, you're going to need to break through those shielding runes, as it's time to fight.
Okay, here's the big one.
Dark Shield. You cannot attack the necromancer until all 4 of the dark runes have been destroyed. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Crackling magic. At the end of every combat room, you must take 2 damage from every surviving rune, ignoring armor. So he's going to be attacking you.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be tough.
This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough.
Okay, well, might as well try.
Okay.
Let's hope you roll really poorly.
It is definitely you. I rolled a 6.
Yeah.
So it is you. What rune are you going for? Because you can't attack him.
Let's go for 1.
1? Okay. What is it?
2 plus acid, so that's 3, and then I guess I can do brawn now.
It's brawn, yeah.
So that's 5.
5?
Better than nothing.
Describe kill and destroying one of the first runes.
Yay! So are they, what do they look like? Are they?
It's a rune is like, it's
There's
etched on the stone of the lighthouse kind of portal.
Okay.
Like the doorway.
Like
dink, 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 dink.
Sure. Can I just say that I cracked at it with my rusted nail?
Like like try and like make a new mark on it?
Sure.
Yeah, to destroy it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Alright, next one.
I don't take any damage,
2 damage.
but I've got armor.
Ignoring armor.
Okay.
Hold on. 2 damage for each surviving dark rune. 6 damage.
Okay, so 4. Oh, yeah.
6 damage.
So that is 26.
Okay, I rolled.
And I have a...
It's you.
Okay, cool.
Because he's actually not fast.
That's good.
You're lucky.
So that is...
Destroyed, killing the second one.
Yay!
Are you doing the second one?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know how to kill a rune. Or destroy it. Can I...
It's a glowing stone.
A glowing stone, so can I just, like, crack the stone?
With what?
My sword.
Okay. Do it again.
Do I take damage?
You take...
I don't know why
4
I keep
damage.
reminding you of this.
Yeah, no.
4. So...
You're just lucky that you've been faster than him.
Yeah. Okay.
How did you do
I
that?
don't know.
I rolled a 3. Okay, yeah, it's you.
Hang
Wow,
on.
you are knocking these stones out.
7.
How do you destroy this one?
I feel like I've been really effective with my sword, so I'm just gonna keep whacking at it.
Okay. And you take 2 more damage.
So now I'm at 20.
That's stuck in the corner. What is it? Oh,
4.
it is him for the first time. Okay, so I'm going to use the highest stat there is.
Oh, but you rolled a 6.
I did roll a 6.
So I'm gonna use my 6th sense to turn that into a 1.
Okay, I want you to describe this because the stone is going to shoot like a laser beam at you.
Okay.
But all of a sudden it's now like, oh.
So are you saying it just like lost its power, or like it missed me?
I'm asking you what happened. You just destroyed back to back to back 3 other stones.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to get you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nope.
I don't know. I feel like maybe I'd do some like cool like acrobatic type of
Like
lunge.
bullet time again?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
bend out of the way? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So you change the 6 to a 1.
I feel like that's something that like someone who lives in the like deserty thing is a
Yeah.
little bit more like agile.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
So you see also there's like a story of your character coming out in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 plus 3, because it would have been a 9 coming at you. Yeah, these stones hurt. So that is 4 minus your armor.
So I'm at 18.
Okay.
Okay.
Take
And
off
then-
2 for the stone again.
Okay. So I'm at
It's like just
16.
an area effect.
And then can I
Heal?
use my... No, I'm going to use my blind.
Blind.
Yeah.
So what happens?
So you only have 1 die to use for your speed.
Okay.
Which I feel like...
But she has to declare that before I roll. So 5.
Still rolled pretty high. But I
Yeah,
got
you're
a
good.
10.
Yep.
Okay.
Destroying the last one.
Okay. Feel like same kind of thing. I take the sword and I feel like at this point, like it's around a door. You said.
Oh, yeah, like a doorway.
So I feel like it's kind of like slowly crumbled. So like the crumbling of the other parts, kind of like
Caught up to it.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so now he's left.
Okay.
So he's left.
Okay.
So now you can fight him.
Okay. Do I take damage right now?
No, because the stones are gone.
Okay. So now I can attack again, or do we need to do speed?
We're attacking. We're speeding.
Okay. Oh, I should have waited my speed for this moment.
I was using his speed the whole time.
Oh, okay. Well, And I freaking rolled
Double one. That makes sense, though. You get through the thing. He's like, nope.
Yeah,
like
that's fair.
he
That's
he
fair.
saw that coming when he felt the power go away.
Yeah.
So this is coming at you.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, the other things had a higher magic thing to him. Oh, but he rolled a 6.
And I already used my 6 then.
You did. You did. So, we were engrossed in that battle. It was epic. You shouldn't have lived.
No. No.
You shouldn't have. She killed the dang thing.
Yes, I did.
I look up at the camera, and the little screen says, because we can only do batches in about 30 minutes a section because of the way import laws work. They put in little things on when you have a DSLR camera. And it says, card full, recording automatically stopped. So you killed the necromancer. I haven't gone any further than that.
Yep.
My apologies that you don't get to see that crazy shenanigans that ensued. Yeah.
It's okay. It happened. I won. I was victorious. You were mind blown.
Yep.
And so was a necromancer.
I might say I was rocked. Because the stone runes.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear the sounds of the ravening undead outside the lighthouse. Fearful for the well-being of your companions, you press on with your attack. Deadly magics continue to sizzle and burn around you, but within the close confines of the ruined chamber, the necromancer proves no match for your fast blade.
That's right.
As his body crumples to the ground, a sudden silence descends. You stagger to the doorway, which you were really staggering, like you shouldn't be alive, staggering,
Yeah.
and look out to see the phantoms and corpses are now motionless statues, devoid of the dark agency that once drove them. Archibald is nursing a few cuts and scratches, but is otherwise unharmed. The knight strides over, his armor and sword unblemished by the battle. Well, that was rather dramatic, wasn't it? He says in a dry and emotionless way. He lifts his spectral gaze to the top of the lighthouse. The bell is here. I can feel it. You follow the knight back to the lighthouse, where blood is now pooling around the body of the necromancer. I suppose you want to loot him now? Intones the knight. That's what you people do, isn't it? You may now help yourself to one of the following rewards. There's 3.
Okay.
The first one, Grave Touch. Left hand wand.
Hmm.
+1 magic. Ability, Bone Shaker.
Okay.
This ability allows you to re-roll all your opponent's speed dice. You can re-roll their dice.
Oh. Interesting.
Kraken Bone. Ring. +1 brawn. Ability, Fear. Fear is... I almost did a Dune reference. But fear in here is lower your opponent's damage score by 2 for 1 combat round. So
Cool.
the damage they're dealing to you. There's the Kraken Bone Ring. The Marsh Shroud Cloak. +1 brawn, +1 magic. Ability, Charm. You liked Charm in the last game.
Mm-hmm.
Charm is... You may re-roll 1 or all. Re-roll 1 of your hero's dice. So re-roll 1 of your hero's dice at any time during combat. You must accept the result of the second roll. If you have multiple items with the charm ability, each one gives you 1 re-roll.
Yeah, I definitely have used that a lot. So those are the 3 I can choose from?
Yep, Grave Touch, Left Hand Wand, +1 magic, ability Bone Shaker. Kraken Bone, Ring, +1 brawn, ability Fear. Marsh Shroud, Cloak, +1 brawn, +1 magic, Ability charm. But you would have to get rid of stuff.
So question.
Yeah.
First question. Am I able to put anything into my backpack?
No.
Okay. That was worth asking. And then this is kind of just where it becomes interesting because all three of those things I have something in the slots.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to figure out what's better. I definitely think I'm going to keep my cloak, even though the other cloak that you're offering has charm, just because I don't have any other healing things.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I need to be able to heal just in general. And I like having a health of 32.
Just so you're talking into the mic.
So I think I'm leaning towards the left-hand thing, which is what?
The wand, the grave touch.
Which does...
+1 magic.
Okay.
Ability bone shaker.
Which does...
Bone shaker again. The ability to reroll all of your opponent's speed.
Okay, and then what was the other ring?
Kraken bone ring, +1 brawn, ability fear. Lower your opponent's damage score by 2.
I think I'm gonna go with... Yeah, because I like Sixth Sense.
You
I
like
like-
acid.
I like acid and I like blind. So I'm gonna change my rested nail.
Yep, that makes sense.
To... Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
Grave touch. And to be fair, I feel like I used my rested nail a lot in the last round, like trying to ruin the runes.
Mm-hmm. Just watch your hair on the mic.
I know.
Yeah, because you
So
kept like etching it in.
Yeah, so I feel like it makes sense that I don't have it anymore.
Okay, cool. +1 magic.
I'm working on it.
Can you make it so it's... Why are you erasing the magic? Oh,
I'm
the
erasing the
brawn?
brawn because the brawn is back down
Oh.
to 1, and the magic is back up to 2. Voila.
Okay. Thank
There you
you.
go. Okay.
Now go to the next page. You have the right bone shaker.
Mm-hmm.
It's this way, so you gotta move it that way. There you
I'm
go.
working on it.
They made it so pages can zoom out further, so it's not going to drag like that. You got to do this. Here.
Bone
Shaker.
shaker. Okay.
Reroll opponent speed dice. Technically, it doesn't say once per combat, but I know that's what it is. Because that's how I get free one of these is.
One or all?
All dice.
Just like it else. I feel like there's something on here.
No, it just, you broke it with the angle. Here, you just flicked it off
Like what off?
the tip.
Is that supposed to happen?
If you press weird, it can, yeah.
Oops.
I have multiple.
Oh, okay. It's like cash. Okay.
And go back.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you didn't zoom out like that. There you go.
Okay.
You also find 5 silver pieces.
Woohoo! 45.
Which you can like spend in town or sometimes even on quests.
Yeah, that'd be nice to.
You're not going to town until the end of this.
Sure.
A staircase spirals around the remains of the lighthouse. You pass several floors where the necromancer's past experiments are in evidence. Tables covered with rotting body parts, metal instruments glistening in cases, jars and bottles, pickled organs, books of arcane glyphs. At the top of the tower, you reach an exposed stone platform. In ages past, this would have been borne a signal fire or a lantern, so it would have been actual like a lighthouse. Now it's just an empty expanse of moss-covered stone, slick with moisture from the clouds and sea mist. A large rusty bell lies in one corner. You assume that this is the magical bell that the knight was seeking, although it appears to be just nothing special. Is that it? Oh. Is that it? Scott's Archibald. Sorry, I thought it was you talking. It's him. Had to do the thing. Who has now joined you on the platform, still clutching his case protectively against his chest. Not really the stuff of legend, is it? Ignoring the playwright's disdain, the knight approaches the bell. As he does, you're surprised to see that the bell's surface begins to glow as various arcane runes shimmer into being. This is the bell of lost souls, says the knight flatly. It will free the spirits who are trapped here. Do you have the word inferno on your hero sheet?
I definitely do not.
You have other keywords, to be fair.
I do?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Keyword, desperado, junk.
I forgot about this.
You do not have inferno, though.
Correct.
I wonder if you would have lit the thing.
I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
Oh, that would have been cool.
That would have been cool. But you can't. So you go to this page instead. Like, we're in the first actual quest, and there's already, like, keywords, like, that activate.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The bell lifts into the air as the runes etched into the metal are now shining with a dazzling green light. You watch spellbound as the knight takes his sword and moves to strike the bell. Suddenly there's a piercing shriek from above. A dark shadow passes overhead, accompanied by the beating of wings. You look up to see a ghoulish creature fashioned from stitched body parts descending through the mist.
Gross.
This must be one of the necromancer's grisly experiments. The beast's clawed hands reach down and snatch the bell before anyone has time to react. And then with another devilish screech, the creature lifts away, bat-like wings beating furiously to take it out of range of your weapons. Is Jacob with you?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Oh, goodness. What does this mean? Jacob goes...
Jacob is quick to respond, flicking a shower of daggers through the air. The small blades pepper the creature's body, forcing it to the ground as it withers, kicking in pain. You hurry forward and plunge your weapon into the beast, silencing it.
It's about time someone else did some work around here.
Yeah. The bell lifts once more, runes igniting with ancient magic. You back away from the room to making room for the knight, who steps forward to the bell and strikes it with his sword. There's a deep, reverberating peal. Then a heavy silence.
Oh.
You look around expectantly, wondering what'll happen next. Here's the silence.
Yeah, seriously.
A ship! A ship! Archibald is leaning to the other side of the platform, pointing down through the mist. You hurry to his side and see a vessel rising up out of the churning waves. Its hull and mast glowing with a spectral green light. The spirits of the dead sailors are now moving along the shoreline, making their way towards the approaching vessel. That's their passage to the next world, the knight says solemnly. Archibald slides to the ground, shocked and trembling. I have to capture this. I don't know how. He looks down at his crumpled pages, shaking his head. I must rewrite. Begin again.
Yeah.
The knight lowers his sword and steps away from the bell. His helm creaks, round to study the tortured playwright. For whom the bell tolls, he says flatly.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. This is cool. Then, with a shrug of his shoulders, he makes for the stairs. He just walks away. The playwright stares off into the distance, eyes wide. That's brilliant. Brilliant. He leaps to his feet, hurries after the knight. My lord, have you ever thought about life in the theater? Treading the boards, becoming a star. Perhaps even my co-writer?
No, good.
What do you say? With a sigh of bemusement, you shift your attention back to the glowing bell. Suspended in the air by a strange magic, its power palpable, a physical thing that ignites the air with a charged energy. You feel your own magic. That strange force that's always kind of just been inside you. Responding to it. So your magic is responding to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Making you tremble and tingle with a powerful craving. Unsettled by such feelings, you quickly depart, eager to now leave this strange supernatural marsh behind. For helping Archibald retrieve his play, you have gained 30 silver.
Ooh, that's it? Just kidding.
Nope.
30. Okay, what else?
The knight also rewards you with the following item for your backpack.
Ooh, backpack item.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll go right there next to the footlocker. High spirits. 3 uses.
Okay.
Use any time in combat to restore 6 health each time. So plus 6 health.
Cool.
Yep.
That's useful.
You may now return to the map and continue your adventure.
Very cool.
Thoughts?
I liked it. I still can't believe I killed the necromancer. I feel like there's a lot more going on in this quest than the quests that we did in the first book.
At least in the first act, yeah.
Yeah, in the first act.
Yeah, I
'Cause
feel like it took a little bit more to ramp up.
Yeah.
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 Which was, it was still great. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's definitely not like a bad thing by any means.
But man, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a reason this is not the first book, you know?
Yeah.
I'm excited about like the different things I've gotten so far. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's also nice to hear like some of the abilities that I'm familiar with. So, you know, like I'm like, oh yeah, I know what that does. Like I want that for this character or I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
So for me, jumping from the first book to this one,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of mentioned this when we had to take all the footage off the card. It's actually, I feel like this book is even easier to narrate
Okay. Yeah.
because in some of the other one, in the first one especially, I would turn to a section that says "Will you?" and I'd have like 4 choices,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would typically, and I mentioned this in the recording, I would typically hold that because it would say like, "Oh, go back to this one and
Right.
represent the choices."
Yeah.
Michael definitely upped his game in a really good way. I mean, he's phenomenal to begin with.
Yeah. I think
But
all
gives
this
me
is crazy.
right. This is nuts. Yeah. But gives you all of those options each time, and so I didn't have to flip back and forth as
Oh,
much.
that's nice. Okay.
Yeah. So I felt I wasn't doing this as much as
Yeah.
I had previously,
Okay.
and I think the prologue is a lot more intense.
Yeah, it
and
was much
involved.
longer.
Much longer. However, the actual quest, because I was reading a lot in the prologue.
Mm-hmm.
The actual quest, I was hopping around a lot. Like, I felt so much more engaged.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Like, I felt like it was just the right amount to get me to the point where it's like, okay, I want to continue what happens next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it's really, really well done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to see what happens for Emmerich.
Yeah.
Gonna be honest, I was actually thinking like maybe the Necromancer is gonna be like a bad tease and he's gonna like fly away or something. Like, because you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
like you just killed a necromancer leading a horde of zombies, and then had a spectral knight ring a bell to summon a ghost ship.
Yeah, I think that's like the really cool thing about this, like the whole concept of these kind of games is that like you have an idea of what it could be and then you're completely wrong. Because like Michael comes up with something completely different that's like just really mesmerizing and yeah, just kind of keeps the story going. And again, like I was mentioning, like that story of a movie that's been playing in my head, like I feel like I've seen it all.
Yeah.
Just because of how descriptive he is and how good he is with the characters, and then of course your voices add to it as well.
Thanks, wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for me, even like when you were fighting the marsh witch, like for me, I was thinking of Avatar: Last Airbender. You haven't seen that. You've seen Legend of Korra. But there's like a blood bending witch like in the middle of the woods, and like it was a scene, and I was thinking of that, like this witch like controlling the marshes, and literally killed this kid.
Right.
Like what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like in one of the like quests that I went on in the first book, like I was like all trusting, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna go help these people, and then like got like screwed over.
Yeah, you did.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I was like, oh, this kid's a punk. Like I'm not gonna trust him, and so that's why it's hard to like when like making decisions, like you can't necessarily go wrong because either way it's going to be an enjoyable story, and it just kind of depends on which path you choose. But yeah, like it's just going to be different every single time. Like, and you just think you're like, oh, well, last time it was a trick, so this time it's not going to be. Like, you can't play that game because there's so many variables and so many different twists and turns the story can take.
So how do you feel about, because there was several times, like, I wonder if you had continued into the marsh, would you have gotten the lantern thing that would have warded off?
Right.
Or, like, what would have happened if you talked? Like, if you had gone and talked to the actors, would you have met Jacob and, like, been able to make a better decision?
I don't know. Well, and that's what's so cool about this is that there's so, like, many hours of play you can put into this.
Yeah.
Because we can play it all the way through, and that could be, I don't even know how many hours, like, a lot.
We played the other one for, like, 15 to, no, it was, like, more like 20 hours.
Yeah,
total.
probably.
Yeah.
But, like, still go back and replay it and change our outcomes or, like, change the choices I make and still have a completely different story.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And that's why, like, I just love the whole concept of these books.
Yeah, and so this, so as you know, we're doing this video. Michael asked us to do this, but we own the book. This is all ours. We're not being compensated for this. We just wanted to do it because we wanted to play the book anyway, and it's fun. So this is part of going to be launched as part of a Kickstarter, which is for this is the first book in that series. As a reminder that it's going to be a subsequent book.
Yeah.
So the story from this one is going to continue into that one. So obviously you will need to play or should play this one. There might be a jumping in point, but I think there's too much story here to want to miss this.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I feel like there's going to be a lot of character development and characters and people that you're going to meet along the way that you're going to need to know and experience as well.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. We have all these games around us.
Yeah.
Right?
Lots.
Yeah, lots of games. This book says 17 euros on the back.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah. The cost for that and the hours of play is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially since it's just the two of us. Like there's so many of these games that we can't play just the two of us because you need like at least 3 or 4 people to play it. So when we're like, okay, what do we want to do tonight? What do we want to play? Like our choices are very limited, but for this we can just pick up the book and we can literally play for hours.
Yeah, and we come away from that night with like a memory and which is pretty cool.
Exactly. I think they all have a time and a place for sure, but like I think for us, we've just enjoyed like the world building, the character development, and like just the memory making of like experiencing the adventure that these characters are going on. Yeah.
So this was Destiny Quest: Raiders of the Dune Sea. We played one quest in this stream, which is great. Well, and also the part that was lost to the card But yeah,
It still happened.
yeah, it's a necromancer. It's undead.
Yeah.
It's gone over there. So again, all we did was we did an intro. We played the prologue off screen. We played one quest just for giggles. There's one more green quest, which is the kind we just did, and then the next one is orange. There's one orange quest on this map. There is blues next, one blue quest, and then two red quests, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legendary monster fights, and 2 different towns you can visit, and then the boss.
Yeah.
We did one, and there's
That's
1,
crazy.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Obviously, the monster ones, you typically just get thrown in to fight a monster, but there are 14 different things here. And there's 2 acts in this one that we know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think it's really well done and super fun, and I'm excited to see what happens to Emmerich next.
Yeah. So thank you, Michael, for this really wonderful opportunity. If you're watching this and you enjoyed this isn't one of the types of content we typically do, but please make sure to hit subscribe as it helps our channel grow and be on all the things. I typically are doing more reviews and overviews and kind of what I'm taking from games and using the PhD lens for different things. But I really thank you for tuning in, and thank you, Caitlin, for joining for a change. This was nice. But also encourage you to go check out Destiny Quest, whether it is Raiders of the Dune Sea, whether it is the Kickstarter, whether it is you're stumbling through a bookstore and you find Legions of Shadow, or the Heart of Fire, or the Eye of Winter's Fury, or if you really want to just know more about this lore, you can just go and check out the World Companion. So it's great.
Yeah.
This is great. But thank you for watching all this. And when you're rolling, may your speed be better than theirs. Okay. Have a good one, y'all. And until next time, go make your positive impact on the world.